What's up, guys? Today I want to talk a little bit about nature, and specifically when your individual nature makes you feel like it's mutually exclusive to what God would want for you to do. Some pretty prominent examples that I think a lot of people deal with are either with lust, in which there's a pretty conscious recognition that it's not what God would want for you, and when going through actions that involve lust, that realization really strikes us. Then there's things like ego, which hits us a lot more subconsciously more than anything. But when you start to try to notice it, I really think that it tends to get at you that you're just straying away from God every time you use I and separate yourself from the we. But I think a major action is forgiveness. And that's something that's really difficult for us. But what I'm trying to get at here is that it's all symptomatic of the same issue. When it comes down to it, we often just separate ourselves from God based on this ideology that we've been given that God is outside of us. But God is pretty present, not just in us, but in every bit of everything. There's God in this bed that I'm lying on right now, the wall behind me, and the phone that I'm staring at while recording this video. It's important to recognize that God is not just in us, but inseparable from us and every bit of what we interact with. So when we think about putting our worldly needs in front of God, we need to recognize that we're trying to put different forms of God and rank them over one another. It just doesn't work that way. I think a great way to just stop separating ourselves from God and stop separating our needs as above God is to recognize that to act in God's will is to act in the will of all of his creations, including you and everything else. It really helps to humble you, but at the same time giving you a really purposeful outlook on life. Tell you guys, if you have any other recommendations for your peers to grow from, including me, just share them in the comments. I love you guys. Let's go. This is how we save Sikhi.